It has almost been a year since I've done anything more than a solo night in the woods, and quite frankly, I've been feeling it. For months I've had some spots in mind that I simply didn't make time for because I've spent a lot of time working on the FJ and not enough time using it. But in order to keep myself sharp and the FJ ready for some big upcoming adventures, I had to get out. I had one place in mind, a place that's not too far away but has some of the best views around. I've spent a decent amount of time in West Virginia, but never West Virginia. It's been a place I've passed through or have camped once or twice, but never really took my time in. And this trip is going to be a little bit different. No tent or rooftop tent, and just a whole lot of silence.
Man, it was an absolutely beautiful day until it just started dumping rain like an hour ago. So I was doing a trail which I thought would lead me to another trail. Regardless, there's a gate there, so I had to kind of go out and around. So it took me like an hour to get to this point. But regardless, I didn't film much. I'm trying to find camp, but I still have another 2 trails yet to do before I find camp on one of those trails. But yeah, it's great to be back in Virginia. Usually I'm actually in West Virginia, but I decided to go to Virginia this time because I had a good opportunity to go. I'm not doing anything too crazy this weekend. I'm actually just camping inside the FJ, and I'm gonna go more into that later. But right now I'm gonna hit this next trail, Cow Camp Road, I think it's called. Who knows? And then I'm gonna hopefully find camp for tonight.
I typically consider myself a person who loves to be remote with cool views, but I can't complain when it comes to a simple campsite like this. And after all, I don't do solo trips to simply enjoy a view. This is about becoming self-sustainable and confident when being alone on a solo adventure. A spot like this is perfect to make some dinner and head to bed.
All right, real quick before I eat dinner and before this massive storm is about to roll in, I want to discuss my sleeping setup. So this is totally different than any other trip before. As you notice, there's no tent on the FJ, and that is because I'm using the Air Down Gear Up drawer system. For the main trip 2 to 3 months back, I decided to install the Air Down Gear Up seat delete drawer system. So essentially this is a 60% seat delete, and that's all it is. It's one drawer and a sleeping platform on it. So it's pretty easy to put the seat all the way forward already, and all you do is you fold this thing down. So that's basically where your head or your feet are gonna be. And then I'm just throwing a blanket on top of it just to get rid of this hinge so it's not digging into my back. But then on top of the blankets, I am putting my blow up, I don't know, sleeping pad that I use for backpacking. So we're gonna see how comfortable that is for tonight. But I'm really excited to try this out because for solo camping, this might be the way to go. I don't have any extra weight up top or anything for air resistance on the highways. So I'm really hoping it's comfortable so I can keep doing this on solo trips. But this will be kind of the first test. It's only 2 nights, so if I hate it, I don't have to do it again. But I'm so excited to use this. And not to mention, the drawer system is fantastic. I love, well, okay, fantastic using it. Installation for me was a little bit tough. Once you figure it out, it is amazing. I love this thing. It is so easy to use. You just pull it out, you got all your drawers. And for this trip, I have all my cooking supplies and a lot of camping supplies and all of my dry food. So that cut down on my bins like a ton. So anyways, it's starting to rain. I'm gonna get my sleeping platform set up here, try to eat dinner real quick, and probably just chill in here for the rest of the night. I slept phenomenal last night. It was so peaceful in here with the rain and actually very comfortable. The one thing I will say is that if you're a very tall person, the setup might be a little bit tougher for you. I'm 5'10", and I did have enough room to sleep. I had plenty of room to sleep, but I could see where my head could be hitting the door, my feet could be hitting the seat, which is all the way forward. But for me, I was fine. But if you're over like 6'3" or something, you might have a little bit of an issue with the setup. But slept so comfortable, and I wanted to go over one or two more other things before I kind of packed up the setup for the morning. So the first thing is that I like to talk about last night is having these blankets down on this wood is very important, especially if you're using a mat that is blow up, because there is hinges on the other end. They're not sharp, they wouldn't cut you, but I would be worried about them wearing through like a sleeping mat like this. So that is one thing I did. The other thing I did, which I did for part of the night, not the full night, is I had this back window open for ventilation. It's very nice to keep air going through because it does get a little stuffy in there. And I was running this fan right here to kind of help get the air moving. So that was really nice. This is just the USB fan running off of my dual battery setup. But then the one last thing I wanted to talk about was up front. So what I did up front here for more ventilation to keep the windows open up front is I had this little screen that I put over the windows. This is just a cheap little screen from Amazon. It's obviously not going to keep water out, and it was raining last night, so I did have to keep this up pretty high for most of the night until it stopped raining. Then I can open it more. This essentially stops the bugs from getting in, but still allows airflow, so you get, so it's not too musty and gross inside. But even though this is the first night, I found this super helpful to make it not as stagnant inside, because even this morning is a little bit gross, but not crazy compared to what it would have been with the windows closed. And also, it's not a smart idea to keep the windows closed when sleeping. Anyways, that is just my little overview of my sleeping setup. I'm going to use this again tonight. And honestly, in the future, I could totally see myself using this because it was very comfortable and it keeps the FJ lightweight for solo trips like this that are very short. But either way, I'm going to get breakfast and hit some more trails today.
I would be lying if I would say that the first night of the solo trip is the best. You typically roll into camp and finish the normal evening activities before getting bored and just deciding to go to bed early. And with that in mind, I'm always excited to get up and start the next day. The first stop for today is a communication station on top of the mountain that is covered in fog and gives an ominous vibe when alone. If you ever get the chance, you have to drive through Buena Vista. It is stunning. So essentially, last night I was east of Lexington and Buena Vista area, and now I am northwest of Lexington. So I just drove about an hour and a half, got fuel, got a few things I needed,
and I'm back on a trail. I'm gonna basically be off-road for the rest of the day, getting to one of my hopefully new favorite spots, Flagpole Knob. It looks amazing. It looks like a cool camp spot on top of the mountain where you can basically see everything. But I have a lot of miles to go before I get there. So right now I just got onto Height Hollow Road. This is just a 2 out of 10, just a basically stone road through the George Washington National Forest. And then I'll be hitting the road again briefly before heading to Reddish Knob, and that takes me to Flagpole Knob, which that should be the campsite for tonight. It is already almost 12:30, so again, this day is just already gone, and that's usually how it goes on these trips. But I'm so pumped. I'm actually gonna air down today because yesterday I didn't, and that was a bad move. It was just really bumpy and honestly a little bit hard on the suspension components, which isn't a big deal because I do have replacements coming soon, so talk about that another point. But I should get going or else I'm not gonna make it tonight and somebody else is gonna take this camp spot. So I'm gonna air down real quick. Got off the trail. That was a really beautiful trail. It actually rained for a little bit, but now I did find the state forest road that kind of leads me close to where I want to be with Reddish Knob and Flagpole Knob, but not exactly. So I will have to go on road for a few minutes, but that is not as bad as going on the road for like 20-30 minutes, which was the original plan. So that's kind of nice. I'm gonna be mainly off-road, but the goal is to kind of get to camp around, I don't know, 4:30ish, set up, eat dinner, just kind of relax a little bit before heading out tomorrow. And it looks like we should be in good time because right now it's 2 p.m. and we already did the one trail and then 2 other trails connect to the camp spot. So let's see what we find. Surprisingly, the weather continued to stay nice most of the day, even though rain was expected all weekend. And I stumbled into this really cool overlook on top of the mountain that gave me an almost 360-degree view of the surrounding mountains. Regardless of the amazing views, I had one thing on my mind: getting to camp. I was still miles away and honestly getting ready to find this location that has been on my mind for months. A spot that looked secluded and really neat, and I had no clue what the condition of the road was or how long it was going to take. Well, I finally made it to the spot I was hoping to get to today, and it is absolutely beautiful. I'm actually right on the border between Virginia and West Virginia right now, and it is just crazy. On the road coming in, there's a few spots you could see on both sides, and it was just beautiful. And I actually did about 120 miles today. Half of that was probably on the road, but the other half was off-road, which was really nice. I'd say the whole afternoon was off-road, and then the early this morning was off-road. And so it's really nice to experience a lot of things. Now, obviously, I couldn't hit every trail I wanted to hit, but I do have a list of trails now that I want to come back to that are probably more technical and take more time, because this trip I didn't have much time. But man, it is just so peaceful up here. And I think for tonight, I'm just gonna chill out. I'm probably gonna read a little bit, make some dinner, have a fire, and then go to bed. Because I have a few miles yet in the morning to hit to go down this trail, air up the tires, and then hit the road for the long drive home. So, man, so glad to be here.
Nights like these when solo are some of the most memorable. I'm finally settled in and ready for a peaceful evening around the fire. A lot of time to take in the views, eat some food, and enjoy the sounds.
Last night I slept so good. Honestly, if you're going solo, I would recommend this platform. It is very comfortable if you put a mat on it. Very nice to sleep on. Did get a little bit warm, but I think it's because I didn't have the windows open enough. I'm all packed up now. I'm probably just gonna drink some coffee, relax a little bit, and then I gotta get out of here. But I'm excited to get out of here. It looks like there's a lot more trail to do before I hit the road, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
When doing some research about the spot, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to walk into. Some said the way down is just fine, and others said it was slow going. As I was running behind, I hoped for a quick route to the bottom.
Okay, so this trail is apparently a 2, but with recent washouts, I would call it a good 3 or 4. It's taken me a while, so that's why I haven't filmed a bunch, but I'm probably about halfway there for the section I need to do today. Still going down the mountain, and I might hit a better road at the end. It might actually turn into a better road, but for now, we're getting some washouts like this. So I'm gonna take my time, get through these, and get to the end. So I'm airing up right now. I'm actually running super late. That trail took a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty easy, just breeze down the mountain and you're good to go. But no, coming down that mountain, it was kind of treacherous at points. There was a lot of washouts from the recent rainstorms, and it really took a lot of time to get down. Once you got down to the base of the mountain, it was pretty rocky, pretty easy getting out, and you come onto the stone road, so it's not bad. But anyways, this was an amazing trip. I know it's very short, but it was just a great time to be in Virginia. I always love coming down here, but regardless, it's time to head home and fix some of the new rattles and squeaks that I'm hearing. So let's get that done.
Like any solo trip I've done, I've been super thankful to spend some time in an area as this and force myself to be in solitude and enjoy nature. This all prepares me for bigger trips to come.